Hi everybody, this is David Neese out of San Luis Obispo, California. I'd like to introduce a form I created called the Customer Engagement Form. And it's based off of some scientific principles of persuasion from a book called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion from Robert Cialdini, PhD. This book is amazing, and if you'd like to delve a little bit deeper into why people make decisions that they do, this is a great book, and I highly recommend it. It's on Audible and Amazon, and it's not very expensive either. But we're going to go over the customer engagement form, and this form is designed to engage your customer in a consultation instead of you just coming in and presenting and kind of vomiting at the mouth all of the information that we have. We have a lot in there. We don't have to give it all to the customer. We have to give what pertains to them and what also influences them. So I'm just going to run down how to use the form and some of the principles behind it. So the first thing is that you can put your account number and meter number. In PG&E territory, we need both that information to get your usage, your kilowatt hour usage, in which you'll take these two numbers and you'll actually input the data down here. It's always a good idea to have the customer help you with this. Either have them read off the data and you write it in, or you read it off and they write it in, and it hence gets them engaged in what their current situation is, how much kilowatt hours they're using. But what I do right off the bat, right after building some rapport with the customer, one of the major principles, there are 6 principles of persuasion. One of them is liking, and so you need to spend an adequate amount of time building rapport with your customer first, and then I hand them this form and I ask them to fill out the large box here. It's got the date, it's got their name that's on the bill, their spouse's name, so if she or he is sitting in front of me, I don't forget their name, a backup phone number to get in touch with them. We have a lot of contract change cases down the road because of misspellings or the wrong name on the bill, and this should cut down on that pretty significantly. I know it has for me, and it's a big time waster when we have those issues, and this gets rid of that, or at least cuts down on it. And so I have them fill that out, usually during a lull in our conversation, maybe when I'm pulling the usage. And then if they still have it in their hands, I ask them to write down the kilowatt hours. And I'll read them off to them, have them read it, have them write them in. And I might notice that December is abnormally high. And I'll ask them, do you guys use Christmas lights around December? Sure, yes, we do. Or no, we have family in town. You can learn a lot about people from how they use their power. And even one anomalous month, whether it's low or high, can bring out a story. What did you do back in March? You were really low kilowatt hours. Oh, we were on vacation that month. And then it can just bring out a little bit more rapport. Talk about their vacation a little bit. The more that people like you, the more that people want to buy from you. This form also just using it gives you a leg up with the principle of authority. Using a form like this and having this be a consultation instead of a presentation gets people to believe you more. It's more professional, and they tend to take what you have to say and take the information that they've given you and the information that you're giving back to them based on that information to heart, and it really does work. So down here on the right-hand corner is for you to use only. You can put in your current monthly utility cost for the customer, their average, any leftover, the pay-as-you-go monthly cost. You can put in all this information that you'll use later in the MyPower tool if you're going to be using that tool. And we're going to go to page 2. On the back of this page is simply approximately the 10 most important questions that should be asked on every consultation. I feel like this is the consultation in itself. And these are A-level questions. So you can always dig deeper and go into B-level and C-level questions, and I encourage that. But I'll run over the top part here. So the top part is your principle of commitment and consistency. And what people say and what people do, they want to remain consistent with into the future. So these 2 questions at the top are really about 50% of your consultation. If you can get them to answer these questions, in which they do every time, you're halfway there to getting them to sign the paperwork and walk out of there with a closed one. So I recommend reading the questions pretty much as is. If you could buy nuclear power, coal power, or solar power, and they were all the same price, which would you choose to buy, Mr. Customer? a customer's going to give you an answer. Wait for them to give you an answer. Most likely they're going to say solar power. About 90% of the time they say solar power. And then simply ask the question, why? Why would you choose solar power? And they might say, oh, because it's greener or because it's more efficient. I like solar power. I don't like coal power. Whatever they put right in there, right in that line right there. And if they give you one answer or two answers, ask them anything else. Try and really bring out the reasons why they would choose to buy solar power at the same price that they're currently buying dirty power. And then they'll stay consistent with that later when you actually reveal that it's cheaper to go solar. Another question to ask is, do you expect PG&E's rates to go up, down, or stay the same? Obviously, if you're in PG&E territory, if you're in another territory, you can change that. But do you expect PG&E's rates to go up, down, or stay the same? They're going to say up 99% of the time. Circle that number and ask them, what would you guess that PG&E's average annual rate increase is? And most people, I would say about half will say 5 to 10%. A smaller percentage would say less than 5%. And then it's kind of funny, about 25% of people say higher than 10%. So just write that number in there. Don't really go into anything. Just write those numbers in there. You're just asking them that question. And this is not meant to be an interrogation. It's meant to be a conversation from this point on. So this middle part here is your discovery questions to help you understand what they know about the company, what they know about solar, and to understand their current situation and future situation, so you can recommend the single best program for them if possible. And a couple questions that we ask: have you heard of SolarCity before? If they say yes, go into that a little bit. So go into a B-level or C-level question. Where did you hear about us? How do you know about us? Do you know Elon Musk? I always suggest getting to or relating SolarCity to Tesla, SpaceX, Elon Musk, PayPal. There's a lot of social proof there, which is another principle of persuasion, which is that if other people are doing something, they want to do it too. So you can always mention that we're doing 13,000. We're signing up 13,000 homeowners a month at the moment, and that's growing. People want to do what other people are doing. And then we also want to just spark some type of commonality between our company and Tesla, SpaceX, something that they know about and that they can relate to. If they know Elon Musk, if they know Tesla, there seems to be about a 30 or 40% better chance of them signing up even on the spot, because they really believe that we are the real deal. And this is not, like I said, not meant to be an interrogation. You can dig deeper in any of these questions and stretch this out for 10 or 20 minutes. How many years have you lived in the home? That gives you an idea of how long they've been there. How many years are you going to live in the home? What issues, what questions are you going to have to deal with in a couple of minutes about selling the home? If they're never going to move, there's no reason to delve into what happens if you sell the house. But if they're selling in 5 years, obviously that's going to be a question that you're going to need to address. How many people live in the home? If they say obviously more than 2, I always ask kids, parents, and a lot of times it's kids. I try and get their ages, because if they're 18 and 17 years old, they're getting ready to go to college, and we're going to consult about them. So they're going to be heading out of the house soon? Yes. Okay. So do you expect your usage, in the next question, do you expect your anticipated future usage to go up, down, or stay the same? With the kids leaving, it might go down a little bit. Okay, are you going to offset that with a hot tub or anything like that? No, we're not. Okay, so now we can look at if they're using 700 kilowatts a month, maybe we want to downsize that to 600 or 500 kilowatts. But always get them to commit to a number that they feel comfortable with. The next little section here are My Power specific questions. We want to try and give them one solution, not multiple solutions to choose from. And there's going to be a certain percentage of people you do give them the menu option, but I really like to give them the one single plan that's best for them. Have you looked into solar power before? Have you ever thought of owning a solar system? If you're going to get one of a couple answers here. Yes, I have, in which great, My Power would be a perfect solution for them. No, I haven't, which My Power may also be a solution for them. Or I don't want to own the system, in which My Power is not going to be a solution, and you divert your attention towards a lease or PPA. And then the third question, would a tax credit be appealing to you? Most people I've found that answer this question say, well, why wouldn't it be? Or of course it's going to be. What kind of question is that? Well, it's just a legal question that we need to ask. We need to make sure that, they understand if they're paying in taxes, and most likely they're going to get a tax credit, but obviously they should check with their accountant. But most people, if they tell you that yes, they qualify for a tax credit, go straight to My Power, and you're going to go into that once you get into the presentation. You've got a little section for notes, and then if you walk out of that home, or if you're getting ready to walk out of that home without a signed contract, then you want to schedule a contract review session to follow up. People are going to ask you to send them information possibly. Say yes, and then if they don't sign up by the end, then send it to them. Don't send it to them in the middle of your presentation. But if they don't sign up on the spot, schedule a time to come back and meet with their spouse that wasn't there, or to follow up with the final numbers. You want to get back in that house to try and get them closed. But this form has been really very successful for me and the team, and I think anybody that's using it, especially brand new people, having the 10 or so most important questions to ask right away, I think is a huge help. And it's the fundamentals. I've caught myself before getting away from the form and just asking the questions.
Oh. All right, buffering.
I want to hear that part.
Hang tight. Hang tight. No, there's a few seconds left.
Checking for attention.
Come on. Dave's phone's only got 64 gigs.
Dave's phone will be fine.
Stand by.
Hold. Still holding. Maybe back it up a little.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Did your internet die?
No.
Part due.
Part due.
So city.
Still on there.
So city.
Yes. Appreciate it.
You may have turned it off.
Suffering.
I guess the end will be a mystery.
Never know what happens when you stray away from using the phone or the form. Just ask the questions. Don't pull up the jetpack. Oh. Hang tight.
Did you find an audio? Yeah. There's two of them stuck together.
You hit her?
There's a lead and then there's also an audio. Take your pick.
You're Gucci? You're Gucci? That means you're good. You're Gucci? Huh, Ben? Gucci?
I'm more of an elite person myself.
Getting away from the form and just asking the questions, but the principle of authority, using this form in front of them really gets them to trust you more and believe you more. And I find that my fundamentals are more sound when using this form every single time, and it's easier to follow up with customers if necessary. So I hope all of you can try it out. I hope it works. If you have any questions, feel free to touch base with me, and I'd love to hear from you if it is working, and check out the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. Thank you.